What is good, world? This is your man AD from the DC Reptile Zoo, and I'm at you guys today with a video basically telling you guys tools that I feel like every reptile keeper should have in their reptile room somewhere. So I'm gonna give it to you guys basically from the most important thing to the least important thing, from being a new reptile owner to being a more experienced reptile owner. And these are just the things that I have. There's a bigger list of things that you could and possibly should have when keeping certain things, but I'm gonna just go off of what I have. So without further ado, you guys, let's jump right on in. Alright everybody, let's go ahead and jump it off to the most important thing that I feel like should be in your room somewhere. And the first thing that I say is hand sanitizer. Reason why? Kills 99.9% of germs. What more needs to be said? But now on the real though, you don't want to go handling your animals or anyone else's animals with nasty hands. You don't want to go to a reptile show just handling any vendor's animals, because you never know. A lot of people suffer from problems with mites, and that's not something that you want to deal with. So just try to keep it clean. And hand sanitizer, that's why I say just have some hand sanitizer. And if not that, you know, it's the old-fashioned way: use soap and water. Wash your hands and keep them clean. So the next thing that I would say that you guys should have in your room is a good old notepad and some pens. And the reason why I say this, with getting new animals, you're not going to learn that animal right away. So what you want to do, go ahead, jot down notes that you observe from that specific animal. What I do, I record weights, I record shed cycles, I basically record anything that I see that particular animal does that intrigues me. I write it down and I make note of it. But the weights, I record that weekly. Like I record that every Friday. And the shed cycles, I record that whenever it comes about and it's visible to me. So a good notebook and some pens, it's not nothing expensive. It's cost you probably like $4 at the dollar store, to be honest with you, but something good to have. I know it's a lot of apps and stuff out there to actually do that stuff for you now, but I prefer to just do things the old-fashioned way. That's just my personal thing. Anyway, you guys can do it. Back into it. The next thing that I would say that you guys need is a scale. And the reason why you need this is just to be able to watch the growth of the animal that you have. You guys get a scale, you can watch them grow up. You can watch, and for me personally, I like watching how much they've grown and even being able to see if they've lost any weight through the time that I've had them. Like I've had a couple of snakes that's lost weight and gained weight, and it's just been a back and forth thing. But without this, I wouldn't have known that. So it's something that's good to have. A scale. We can get you guys one off Amazon for like $15 and be in that like swimwear, you feel me? The next thing that you guys should have in your room is just a box of gloves, some disposable gloves. They'll come in handy from certain things like building backgrounds. They'll come in handy for just handling different animals. They'll come in handy with like feeding times. Like, get you a box of gloves. These are cheap too. And things would just feel so much cleaner. Like when you just got the gloves on, you feel all professional in what it is. Like, get you some gloves. Like, they make you feel good. And they make your animals feel good because your hands are clean. All right, the next thing that you guys should have inside you all's room when keeping reptiles would be a temperature gun. And the reason why you want this is basically just to keep the temps of the cages that you get. So in this cage right here, I got a couple of boas, and they surface temperature is supposed to be exactly what it is. Like, and the only reason it is at the 80 right now is because the lights are on. It's still warming up, but it's nighttime, so the temperature would actually be dropping right now. Get you a temperature gun just so you can test the surface temperatures inside the enclosures, test surface temperatures, and the animals of the animals. If you guys go field herping, and you see something out in the field that you might have natively, you can check the temperatures of it out in the field, jot that down, have that information for your own personal records, and do what you do with it. You feel me? Do what you do with it, baby. But yeah, get you guys a temperature gun. The next thing that you guys should have keeping reptiles is some spray bottles. Like this one right here has been done up too, so if it do what it do. Have you some spray bottles, and that's just to regulate the humidities and be able to raise the humidities in enclosures as needed. Spray down plants as needed. If you see behind me right there, you can't really see it, but I got a whole section of plants right there growing right now, like, and they need water. Like, I only use distilled water, mind you, and even the spray bottles. But get you some spray bottles, basically to spray down. You need it when keeping reptiles anyway, like, unless you're keeping desert species. And even with certain desert species, you still need spray bottles. So get you a spray bottle. Yeah, so the next thing that you guys will need when keeping reptiles and amphibians would be some tongs, right? So I got multiple pair. I even got a pair right there on the wall, and each one serves a different purpose, right? These ones I use for feeds, these ones I use for planting plants, and these ones I use for spot cleaning enclosures. Those ones right there I use for feeding bigger prey items to my larger animals. But yeah, get you a pair of tongs, and I mean, they're necessary anyway, so the investment wouldn't go in vain. So just go ahead and get you some. So the next thing that you want to keep in your reptile room when keeping reptiles is paper towels. The reason why you want to keep paper towels in your room, right? Paper towels are good for a numerous of things. They can be used for wiping down the glass enclosures. They can be used for a type of substrate for enclosures. They can be used for if you're breeding springtails or isopods. And this right here, I don't like the substrate and everything that I keep my springtails in to get all nasty. So I put some paper towels in there. And also what I find that it does, I also find that when it comes time for me to separate them and to make more cultures, only thing I have to do is take out one paper towel, tap it a little bit, and dozens of them will be falling off. And then in the other paper towel that's underneath of it, it's still dozens of them. So I'm not really affecting that culture, right? So paper towels serve a numerous of purposes, and they're biodegradable. What can be better than that? They dissolve in the earth after a period of time. Like, so paper towels is a must-have inside your reptile room. The next thing that you guys should have inside your room at basically any point in time, I take that back, because you don't need it. Honestly, I just got it because I'm cool. But no, on the road though, you guys, depending on the type of animals that you keep, working with like the bigger monitor lizards and like the short-tailed pythons and the blood pythons and stuff like that, it's not necessary, but I just like to have it, is stethoscope. And basically what you do, you just put it in your ear. Once you put it in your ear, you listen. But a lot of people who use them, they use them wrong. because they think that you just put it, you think that you just put it inside your ear and you hear, but no, what you gotta do, I could do this and I don't hear anything. But once I turn it, you gotta cut it on, right? So if you're gonna get it and try to use it, just make sure you use it the right way. Like, it's not necessary. Like I said, I'm just cool. So I do cool people things because that's how I do. So the next thing that you guys should have in your room, and these are for those people that keep those desert species on sand, is a sifter, right? And I don't personally keep anything on purely sand. I always do a sand mixture with topsoil and reptile soil, and I still add some type of sphagnum moss depending on the type of animal. My sand boas, I keep them on a sand and topsoil mix, and I have sphagnum moss around the water dish area, so when they knock that over, it soaks it up. But I still got springtails and isopods in there. Well, no, I lied. I don't have isopods, but I still have springtails in there, and they are doing good. And I use that just because I like the more naturalistic things in life. But I use this for whenever I'm getting fresh sand, sift it out into a bowl, and then I bake it in the oven for however long I do it. I usually do it for like 15 minutes at 450 degrees. And that's just because I be overdoing stuff, but I mean, it is what it is. Next thing that you guys should have inside your room, and this is for beginners and even advanced people, is just a hard bristle brush. And this is just for cleaning, right? I take this with all the tubs and stuff that I have, and I scrub them out as needed. And as I do that, then I mean, it's just a brush. It's not expensive, you feel me? Like, and it's better to have your cages smelling nice and looking nice than the smelling like basura. Like, we don't want that. We don't want that at all, you feel me? So just get you a brush, clean your stuff nice and smooth, and yeah, we'll keep it nice and smooth. On a serious note, with this next thing that I'm about to show you, this is a disclaimer, right? If you have no experience using this tool, if you have no idea how to use it, where to use it, and what to do with it, I'm not telling you to buy it. You feel me? Don't buy it. Like, unless you get the proper training that you need to actually to use it efficiently, then don't get it. But it's something that I use because I know how to. So you're not me. So, but you can learn, you feel me? You can always go to a vet that's knowledgeable about that thing. And vets usually, they're super nice. If you talk to them right, like talk to me nice and they'll work with you, you feel me? But this next thing is just probes, reptile probes. These are just some stainless steel metal rods with circular ball tips on them. And what you use that ball tip in right there. Yeah, you use that and you take it to the cloaca and you point it down and you stick it in towards the tail end, and depending on the depth that it goes determines whether you have a male or a female. So like I said, don't get it if you don't know how to use it. It's the way that I explained it, and I just did that with my hands, really doesn't do it justice to how you do it. And also it irritates your snakes, so it's best to do it one right time, than to just be running a whole bunch of test runs on your snakes, you feel me? So before you get this, if anything, get the right training and everything that's required to do it the right way, so you don't hurt your animal and so you don't hurt yourself, because you're likely to get bit if you take too long. But with having this, the next thing that you would need with having a probe Vaselina. And what you do, you take it and then you rub it on your lips. That's not what you do. You don't rub it on your lips, actually. You actually, you take the probe and you stick it inside the probe, and then you don't want to just ram it in there. That's with anything in life. Take your time. Be efficient. Vaseline. The next thing that you should have in your room, and this is more so for you live feeders out there, is a knife. Like, so if you feed your snakes live food, then, I mean, I don't feed live anymore, but I used to, and I've experienced angry rodents. And angry rodents, they can do some damage to your animal. So, I mean, I don't feed live anymore, but yeah. But if you do feed live, have you a knife, or you don't need a knife, you can even use the tongs. But I prefer to use a knife. And what I would do whenever I would see that the snake didn't get a good grab on the rodent, and the rodent is trying to cock back its head to actually bite the snake or something like that, I would stick the tip of the knife inside the rodent's mouth and let the rodent chew on that until the snake was finished constricting it. It sounds kind of gruesome, but I've never actually like just stabbed the rodent or anything like that. I'll just take the tip and stick it in his mouth and let him have something to chew on besides the skin of my snake. You feel me? Like, I'm sorry, I don't like rats and mice that much. I like my snakes more. I love animals, but I'm not a rodent keeper. Keep snakes. So I would want my snakes to live before the rodents. And I don't want either one of them to suffer. So if the snake is killing the mouse and the mouse is chewing on the snake and the snake killed the mouse, the snake would still suffer in the long run because the snake is still alive. You see how that makes sense? Knowledge. Last but not least, with the tools that I have that's really not essential in having for everybody, but like I said, I just use them. Last but not least, my movable flashlight. And what I use this for is for bringing light to dark places. My movable flashlight. Now, on the real though, what I use it for, so I breed sand boas. So at nighttime, instead of me coming in here like I did today, cutting on just all the lights inside the room, my sand boas are inside of a rack. So instead of me having to pull them out to, you know, check and see if they doing the dirty do, I just come over to the rack and I flash my light in there and I see what's going on inside. And if I don't see any activity, then I know, okay, go ahead, pull them off. I see some activity, it's like, I ain't no blocker, so I'm gonna let them go ahead finish, you feel me? And when they're done, then that's when I'll knock, because I ain't no blocker, I'm a real one. But yeah, flashlight, have it in your room. So with the video coming to an end, what I thought that I would do, I thought that I would just introduce you guys to one of my snakes. So let me go ahead and get him real quick. Give me 1 second. All right, everybody. This guy right here, this is my guy Nagini. Nagini is a Sumatran short-tailed python, also known as the Python Curtis, or I should say Python Curtis, also known as a Sumatran short-tailed python, also known as the black blood python. It's actually not a it's a subspecies to the true form of a blood python. But this right here is Nagini. Nagini is a chrome head Sumatran short tail, and this is just one of the many short tails that I got here, and he is most definitely the nicest and most definitely the most inquisitive out of all of them. I like the actual black heads and chrome heads. I don't really mess with the orange heads all that much, but the black heads and the chrome heads, that's what I like. And yeah, you guys, this is Nagini, and yeah. So thank you guys for watching my video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to read the comments, so if you guys leave me anything, have any questions, comments, or concerns, don't be afraid to reach out to me. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in.